welcome to another edition of the only show in the world which covers just the England football team. Nobody else does it. It's us. It's Gadsby's England, and here am I, Gadsby, and over there is... Actually over here, it's an iPad. That's who I'm doing the show with today, folks. What are you going to do? He's off somewhere. He's sulking about Manchester United, probably. In case you forgot, they lost rather heavily at home to Tottenham, as did Liverpool. So there's been a lot of topsy-turvy stuff. Topsy-turvy stuff, yes, that's the right way of saying it, going on in the Premier League. Internationally, we don't know. We'll see. England have 3 matches coming up. Wales, Denmark and Belgium, of course. Wales is not part of the Nations League. Some may say, really, why Wales? No Ramsey, no Bale, of course. But it's happening, so let's get into the squad, shall we? There are already some of them who have dropped out or are going to drop out, but my co-presenter here is going to tell me the squad. What's the squad, iPad? Oh, it's magical, it came up just automatically. Alright, the England squad for Wales, Belgium and Denmark. I think it's Belgium, sorry, before Denmark. We have Tammy Abraham, Chelsea, Trent Alexander-Arnold of Liverpool, Harvey Barnes, Leicester, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Everton, Ben Chilwell of Chelsea, Connor Cody of Wolves, Eric Dyer of Tottenham, Joe Gomez of Liverpool, Jack Grealish of Aston Villa, Dean Henderson, Manchester United, Jordan Henderson, Liverpool, Danny Ings, Southampton, Harry Kane, Tottenham, Michael Keane, Everton, Harry Maguire, Manchester United, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Arsenal, Tyrone Mings, Aston Villa, Mason Mount, Chelsea, Kevin Phillips, Leeds United, Jordan Pickford, Everton, Nick Pope, Burnley, Marcus Rashford, Manchester United, Declan Rice, West Ham United, Bukayo Saka, Arsenal, Jadon Sancho, Borussia Dortmund, Raheem Sterling, Manchester City, Kieran Trippier, Atletico Madrid, Kyle Walker, Manchester City, James Ward-Prowse, Southampton, and Harry Winks, Tottenham Hotspur. What do we think of that? Great to see Dominic Calvert-Lewin in there. Well deserved. What a season he's having, and what a season Everton are having. I mean, I was saying to somebody the other day, with the coronavirus always looming in the background, you could see not one of the big 3 or 4, however you want to do it, whether you include Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham in that. Basically the big 2, Manchester City and Liverpool. You can see one of those not actually winning the Premier League. And, you know, a good outside bet on Everton, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The not having the home crowd is clearly having an effect. I mean, we saw Liverpool lose at Anfield. No, we didn't. We saw Liverpool lose at Aston Villa. We saw Manchester City lose at home to Leicester, and we've now seen Manchester United lose heavily at home to Tottenham as well. So it seems that players are almost looking for that crowd boost, suddenly realising, oh, there's no one here. And I get the feeling that it's turning the games into at least a neutral venue, and maybe a disadvantage because psychologically they're not feeling that. So they may be feeling a little bit empty. But it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see what goes on. And the great thing for England is that there's some terrific players coming out now of these teams, because teams like Everton, Leicester, etc. are staking their claim. It gives a chance for young English players to come through, and it's great. I mean, I think he's been brilliant this season. I mean, he's an absolute must to get his England debut, and he will. I'm sure he may even start on Thursday. But I mean, it's just great to see as I go to my partner again. What else can you tell us? iPad. It's great, and I think I really hope we get to see Grealish get at least a half in these games, because he's one of these, isn't he? He's a maverick. I think he's little bit sort of like maybe sort of James Maddison type player, but he's just got that thing, isn't he? That you just can't. He can switch it up. He has the unpredictability. We all love players like that who can sort of flick and turn and beat somebody. So many times English players who we thought had that have gone on to be so disappointing. I mean, I read today that Jack Wilshere, although of course he's a lot older now, has been released by West Ham. What happened to him is the great talent that he was touted as. Why does this happen? I don't know. I guess it happens to most footballers in the world. That top of that pyramid is pretty unbelievably good. So, but Grealish, he has it, doesn't he? He just has the talent, and let's hope that he gets some time to use it. Jordan Henderson's back, good to see. I expect we'll have the usual, if Calvert-Lewin doesn't start, I expect will be the usual Sterling, Kane, and I would say Sancho, but if you haven't heard the news, unbelievable again. Him, Tammy Abraham and Ben Chilwell are now set to miss the Wales game because injury? No. Not making the squad? No. This damn breaking COVID rules again. They were at a party, they didn't social distance. How difficult is it, guys? Really? It's pretty simple. Don't get into close contact in the days leading up to the game. It just beggars belief, really. Look, it's Wales. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Gareth Southgate will now have to use players maybe that would have been backup players, and this surely gives Calvert-Lewin a chance if he wants to. How does he want to start? Does he want to go for that three of Rashford, Sterling and Kane, or is he going to maybe give Calvert-Lewin maybe over Rashford? Who knows? But there's just a lot of talent in this. It's encouraging, and I hesitate. My voice is full of hesitation because I remember this 10 years ago, 10, 12, 14, 16 years ago, where there's some real young talent in this English team. England, how can they not win something with this talent? And the tendency is that we may be doing this again. I hope not, but if you have a proper manager, and I think we have in Southgate, then you can bring this talent and get it working and get them playing together well. Get the system, work those players around your system. Stop this mishmash of formations like Ericsson would do. Sorry, Sven, don't listen now. It was a great match. And they just don't know where they're playing, what their role is. I think Southgate makes that pretty clear, and I think it's been very difficult, of course, lately. And England's 2 games before, yes, you can slate them, you can criticise them much as you like, but in the current circumstances, I'm not sure how much really of a gap we should be leaving for performances like this. It's such a extraordinary moment in history, and affecting sports in that way that, does it really give us a good indication of what needs to be criticised and what goes wrong? Of course it does, and if other teams are playing well, then you're like, well, they can do it, we can't. But I still think on a given day and during this period, you can see that things just aren't connecting, and I know these are professionals. They'll say it, and the managers will say it. They go out there to do a job. They lock out anything other than the ball, the grass, and the opponents and their own teammates. But it's not the case. You can just see they're a little bit lost, the players. And they do the celebrations, swooping down at the corner. And of course, why do they do that? Because they want to show off in front of their supporters. It's weird. It must be weird for them not seeing them there. So it's going to be the same at Wembley. Unfortunately, I cannot do the game there. It's just very depressing at the moment. There's just, with the social distancing rules, the space is so limited. So it's the mighty BBC and our good friends, of course, and BBC are the best anyway, so it doesn't matter. Obviously, people like Henry are there, which is great because you'll get to read something brilliant the next day. But it's a difficult time. We can't bring it to you from the stadium at the moment. Watch this space. That's all I can say. But I get to go sit in a pub and watch England. It's a strange concept. I don't even know what to do. Does anybody know any good pubs in West London? I'm here. I've come all this way. Suggestions on the Facebook or any of the social media. Let me know. Good pubs. It doesn't have to be West London. Anywhere. So that's where we are. I mean, Wales game. England should win, shouldn't they? Should be. I would say 2 or 3-0. Wales, as I say, what kind of opposition can they offer other than they're playing England and we want to beat England, but again, no supporters. It's just not a squad that should compete anywhere near as well as England. Should be a 2-goal margin win, maybe 2-0, maybe 3-1, but at least 2-goal margin for that one. The next one, not so, and it is Belgium. Let's take a look at that absolutely mouth-watering clash between, I'm going to say it, two of the best 3 or 4 sides in Europe at the moment, I would say, which is probably the world. It's a massive test to see, where England are at the moment. I just think this is going to be, a real yardstick, but with always the side clause that, what I've said before, the circumstances may sort of not ruin it, but interfere with it. So yeah, that one we have 3. No, actually, it is Denmark first. God, I'm so good at this. But Denmark will be interesting. The return game then. England can make amends for that dire performance last month. They should really go out and do exactly that and say, hey guys, come on, that was not good enough. Let's show them at home what we can do. Let's get 3 points on the board and get some confidence going into the Belgium game. All right, we will be right back to talk about the ones that really count, of course. England, Belgium, England, Denmark. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm watching all of you. This is going to be the sound of 2010. Welcome to South Africa. Welcome to the 2010 World Cup. It's Kiev. It's Euro 2012. We are ready. It's Gadsby's England. Bienvenido a Brazil. Welcome to Rio from the Copacabana beach. This is Gadsby's England at the World Cup. I cannot believe what I'm seeing here. England have lost to Iceland. That's right, 2-1 here in Nice, and the fans are singing, "You're not fit to wear the shirt." This is the lowest I've ever seen it. Welcome to a rapturous red square where Russia have just knocked Spain out on penalties. This is Moscow, this is Gadsby's England. Yes! We finally won one. We finally won on penalties. And we are back. Of course, in the time that I've been preparing the show and getting it together, everything has changed. This actually probably happened earlier, but I used pigeons and smoke signals to get my news, and don't knock it till you've tried it. Raheem Sterling is ruled out of all 3 fixtures through injury. That's a big blow. I don't know, Belgium without Raheem Sterling, is De Bruyne playing? Probably. We'll have to see. So that is a massive blow. And Reece James has been called in case of this silly trio who are going to miss the game. So good for him. Another player who's being impressive for Chelsea. And again, this isn't the problem. He has replacements. He could pick a number of players in pretty much every position. So let's see if Reece James can show us what he can do. So that's it, really. the talking must stop. The epic game against Welsh is going to be with us tomorrow. As I say, I think if you want to score predictions, England a 2-goal margin against Wales, probably 2-0 or 3-1. Belgium, I mean when hesitating again, 2-2. How about 2-2? A real thriller, thunderous thriller. It's one that, it could go either way. England could win it just as easily. They don't have a bad record against Belgium, so they've got a bit of a mental advantage. But then again, Belgium might nick it. Belgium might do a, Spain performance. If you remember the Nations League a couple of years ago, Spain came in, I think they won 2-0 quite easily, 2-1 it was, and really dominated. So that's a possibility as well. But I love the idea of 2-2. I would obviously always want England to win, but if not, then a real sort of rip-roaring clash between the two of them. And then Denmark, got to go out and win that, 2-0. One isn't enough. That is an ordinary team, and England need to treat it like a grudge match almost. And the way Christian Eriksen was having a go at some of the England players, very clever, but I think England could, stick one up him. That would be good enough. All right, well, that's all we have time for now. Remember, facebook.com/Gadsby'sEngland, twitter.com/Gadsby'sEngland. We are also a website. No, we've always been a website. Gadsby'sEngland.com. Podcasts can be accessed from there. iTunes, Spotify, blah, 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 blah. And YouTube, our YouTube channel, just look for it as Gadsby's England. It's only going to be one, isn't there? Nobody, would actually have that name. So, anyway. But thanks very much for listening. We'll be back with post-match analysis each game. Hopefully, not. I was going to put an empty chair there, but it's messy below me. You're not going to see that. And then all the jokes about the empty chair was, a better pundit than, I won't say Gadsby Jr. I'll just say all of them. But you have to make do with me these ones. But there will be, and we will have people, humans, to do that. It's COVID time, everybody. Nobody wants to be near anybody at the moment. That's why you have video. Thanks for listening. We'll be back after the Wales game. We'll be back after every game. Enjoy it. See you later.